Hello, we're again. Um, I want to talk about. I think I really like talking about things that are happening more in my life more recently. I don't really know if anyone's going through these things as well, and I'm sure somebody out there is, but um, I wanted to talk a lot about self improvement. I've been really like nailing down on what it means to improve myself, and I am only speaking on myself here. And I think self improvement is such an important journey that everyone should go on. But I feel like it's not talked enough about just how difficult it is to improve oneself. It's like, you should be doing better, you have to do better, but it's so hard to break that chain that you've been continuing over and over again. It's so hard to get yourself out of that groove. And I've been learning, you know, in my own personal time about some ways to help myself improve. But I definitely wanted to talk about how it's really hard to feel like you're not going backwards when you aren't improving. And it's really hard to take, pride in the small steps when you're so used to making really big jumps in other things. I know me myself, I'm used to either being really good at something or terrible. And I can't really fathom the idea of me being like subpar at something. I can't really like fathom the idea of me being in the middle. So when it comes to like improving oneself, it's been really difficult for me because I'm just constantly like, man, okay, Lyric, you understand that how you feel right now, you have to learn how to be patient. And I can be patient for about 30 minutes. And then I start thinking about it again. I'm just like, oh, why can't things be different now? And I think it's really important for teenagers alike to understand that things are difficult. Improving oneself to the best of your ability is a really hard thing, but you shouldn't ever feel like you're going backwards. And even if you do have to take a step back, you know, understand that stepping back is also a part of dancing. Stepping back is how you get a better look at it. Sometimes you have to step a little back sometimes. And I think recently I've learned that what I saw as a huge step back from where I wanted to be going towards really isn't a step back at all, but more of a misdirection. And I think learning how to navigate that misdirection is very important. And I'm learning myself. Um, but I am recently, you know, taking some action on learning how to move forward with life and learning that life is not going to slow down just because I'm not very comfortable. And I like to tell most of my friends, and actually, really all of my friends, sometimes you have to be uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable right now, but I have to be. I don't want to be. I wish I didn't have to be. I wish things were just perfectly A-okay. But you have to learn to be uncomfortable so that way you can know what real comfort feels like. You know, if you've only felt comfort your entire life, then it'll start to kind of just feel like, okay, well, what really is this? You have to know what it means to try, or else you'll forget what it means to try, and then you won't try anymore. So that's what I'm doing. Self improvement. Some things I want to talk to you about self improvement. Never giving up on your dreams, even if you feel like your dream is too big. Even if you feel like, oh my gosh, this was like a mountain to climb. Climb it. I remember back in 2020, 2021. I don't remember what exact year. I remember Charlie D'Amelio. She had said that she wanted to hit 100 million. And everybody was like, what? What about your 1 million followers? Like, what about them? And I thought it was so crazy to me that they got on her for feeling how she felt. Don't ever let somebody tell you your goals are too big for you. What the hell does that even mean? What do you mean you guys are upset that she wanted to hit 100 million? That's her goal. What's it to you? Or Timothy Chalamet. A lot of people find Timothy Chalamet really arrogant and really cocky, but I think Timothy Chalamet is a young man with big dreams and aspiration, and he's not looking to dull himself to make other people feel better. Now, am I saying everybody should aspire to be Timothy Chalamet? No, not saying that. What I'm saying is don't minimize yourself and your growth to help make someone feel better. Be humble by all means, but being humble does not mean putting yourself in a box so that way you can join the rest of the people. Grow. They'll catch up eventually. That's how life works. Um, and for the people who are in that box, because we all have our different paths. If you feel like you're in a box yourself and you see people growing around you at alarming rates, don't worry about that. I felt it. Sometimes I feel like I'm not moving at that right pace. It's just about understanding that you are moving at your own speed. You are going towards your goal at your pace. Don't worry about their goals. Don't worry about their goals. Tunnel vision. Focus on what's right in front of you. Focus on what's important to you. Because I think once you lose sight of your own goal, you are truthfully lost. Once you start worrying about what other people got going on, you lost the plot. You lost it. And that's not good. It's not good. I think losing the plot can mean a lot of things. Make it mean whatever you want. But I know for me, losing the plot means end all be all, it's over. I don't ever want to lose the plot. I got to keep moving. Got to keep learning. Got to keep growing. I seen Kai Cenat. He made that new channel, or I guess he already had it. I don't really know. Just self-improving. And it was so crazy to me to see people trying to mock him and bash him and call him performative for wanting to be better. Because he's reading and looking up a word he's behind. Is that not what you're supposed to do when you don't know something? Learn? I think the point I'm trying to make is everyone will always have their own opinion. Always. Always. They will always have their own opinion. And I think the moment you begin to let yourself get scared of someone else's opinion, you might as well give up. If you're waiting for a time where people will let you be, they will let you have your goals, your dreams, they'll let you sit there and do it, they won't say nothing to you, that'll never happen. Everyone will always have their opinions. So why wait? Why wait? No point. If you want to be better, you gotta understand, one day or day one, you gotta start. Figure it out on the way. So that way maybe other people will be more encouraged to think about some things they want to work on. Some personal things I want to work on. I want to get better at being myself. I think I enjoyed who I was as a person, but I really kind of began to realize that I was only that person when I was with someone else. I'm only ever that version of me when I'm around others. And I like that version of me. I want to learn how to be that version of me without the help of others. I want to learn how to be that version of me just by myself. That's definitely something I want to work on. I want to work on being more confident. Sometimes I'll sit there scrolling on TikTok and I'll see somebody and I'll just be like, damn, that's not you, Lyric. And then I'll just scroll. And it's just like, why even say that? Why even put yourself down like that? I want to work on being more positive to myself and being more positive to things in general. And lastly, like I talked about previously, sorry, a little car dripped from my window. Last thing I want to talk about that I'm definitely looking on working at is being more patient. I've learned recently that the type of love that I have and the type of love that I desire is love that doesn't need to be reciprocated. I want to love, and I do love things that don't really need to love me back. And part of that is learning that even though I don't have the things that I want right now, even though I don't have all the things that I talked about having, I can still get those things sometime in my life. It's never truthfully over. Um, it'll never ever be truthfully over. Patience. You have to be patient. Have to be patient. To my fellow teenagers out there, something I was just talking to somebody about the other day, maybe this will help you. We are too young for anything to be over. Too young. How is it over? I'm 19 years old. How is it over? You didn't wake up and be productive. Life's not over. You're having a hard time in school. Your life's not over. Boyfriend, girlfriend problems. Your life's not over. It will never be over. Not until it is over, you know? You have so much time, more time than you think. And though time isn't promised, if you're not living every day to the fullest, then what does it even matter? Make the most of your time. It'll never be over. Don't stress about the small things. Don't stress about the things that are out of your control. Focus on what you can and can't change. And what you can change, change it. And what you can't, focus on how you can make do with that. How you can grow with those things. You know, limitations are meant to be broken. Surpass those limits, you know, on some Vegeta, you know, sand pride type shit, you know, surpass those limits of yours. Think outside of things, get more creative. When you're put in a box, find a way to get out of it. But understand that we are young. We have our entire lives to figure it out. And right now we're at that awkward stage where it's like, okay, we're 19, you know, old enough to take legal charges, but not old enough to drink or purchase a firearm. You know, we're in that really weird phase where we're old enough for this, but not old enough for that. But one thing we will never be too young for is having dreams and goals and aspirations. I've had dreams and goals and aspirations since I was a wee little boy. Keep those goals, keep those dreams, keep those aspirations, keep on trying, keep on falling down, keep on getting up, keep on dancing. Do that. You have to learn how to do that. You have to learn how to keep going at your goals, even when it feels like you're not going to get there. Because the moment you stop dreaming, what do you have? Don't do it, man. We're 19. And I feel like at this point, I'm like talking to myself now. Like I'm trying to give myself a little pep talk. We're 19, man. We're 19. One day we'll look back on this and you'll be like, damn, it really wasn't it. It really wasn't over. No one can tell you when to stop but yourself. So keep going. Don't let things slipping up make you feel like you have to stop. Anyway, someone once told me I have a bad habit of repeating myself over and over again once I, lose the plot. So we're going to end it there. But I think you guys get the point. Anyway, I'm Lyric. Bye-bye.